The 1 Minute Millionaire, a great book that I just read. So I'm going to start doing book summaries of the books that I read, so hopefully you guys can gain some insight and some knowledge without having to read the entire book. But just going into this one, The 1 Minute Millionaire. This was a great book overall. I thought they really... the outline of the book was very interesting. It was the first part of the book. I read it on, or listened to it on Audible rather. The first part of the book was for your left brain, and the second part of the book was for your right brain. So they had lots of logical scenarios where it was kind of factual information about building wealth and multiple streams of income, how to exactly do that on the left or on the first part of the book. And then the second part was a story about, a fictional story about a lady who had 90 days to acquire $1 million in order to get her children back. So it was a fictional story, but it was very powerful. And it told her story about how she went ahead and got a mentor, and then basically the snowball started gaining momentum and she was able to do it at the end. There's a couple key principles in the book. I'm just thinking back. Acquiring mentorship is huge, and they discuss how to do that, how to keep up with it. That's, I think, just a necessary part of anything that you want to achieve. Looking out, seeing who you know, who's in your network now, and then reaching out to find people that already have done whatever it is that you want to achieve, and they do it well, and they have balanced lives doing that. And so I think that's an essential part. That was really a critical part of the book. Another part of the book talks about having your dream initially, forming a team to accomplish your goals. The power of, kind of like Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich, how he talks about forming a mastermind group. So they talk about that, how important that is, and getting a team behind you. Then they also go into depth about how to basically personality type your team, and then for best results. So you can brainstorm with a personality type, you can criticize, or you can go in after the brainstorming with another personality type to kind of sift out the problems that you would have with a certain scenario, and you can basically play those out without having to actually commit those errors in reality. You can just think them through and create a plan of attack, or a plan to achieve your goals rather. So they definitely have a lot based on your inner game, which is basically how you think, what you say to yourself, which is, I think, hugely important if you want to be a millionaire. And, you know, not that I am one yet, but that's just definitely, I hear that over and over again, how important it is to have a handle on your thoughts and what you say to yourself and so forth. So they definitely have a lot of tips for that as well. And they also go into, in the second half of the book, they go in, I really liked it. It was telling a story about this lady who had 90 days to get her children back. Her husband had died, and it was a fictional story, but basically she was able to find a mentor and then find multiple streams of income. One was through selling a toy that she had that was basically just an idea, and by believing that it was possible, by forming a team around her and her ideas that was all mutually beneficial, she was able to achieve that goal. Some of the money was acquired through real estate, some was acquired through having information products over the internet, some was actually having her mentor actually selling tickets online to have her mentor give a workshop or a seminar that was paid for, that the mentor agreed to do basically just for donation only. She would donate some of the proceeds for that, and wouldn't require. She did it for free, basically. So, all in all, I think it was a great book. Lots of mindset tips, which I think is always huge. They talk a lot about the Enlightened Millionaire, so creating win-win scenarios for people, and I think that's what it's all about. It's definitely. I love that they're talking about win-wins and how we can, even with real estate, if somebody's doing poorly, like in the second half of the book, that she goes in and offers a win-win scenario where she'll buy the property out and then also help with the solution for that person, instead of just going in there me, and just taking. I think there's definitely a karmic component. They talk about tithing, they talk about giving away 10% right off the top of your income, and what that does energetically, and how that comes back to you eventually. So that was my little summary of that book, and hope you enjoyed it, and I would highly recommend reading it.